Let's ride. Now, you were like, what's that mean? Oh, it was in a movie, Kung Fu movie. If you haven't watched a lot of Kung Fu movies, it's played by actor, martial artist Wu Jing. I wish they had more interview of Wu Jing. Gosh, I want to know his thoughts. Anyway, this movie I have watched before, so I'm watching again to understand more. And quite honestly, it's anyone who's trying to want to make an impact in the world should watch it, or change the landscape of the world, or like make it a huge impact or disrupt a system that you really don't like. It's for you, whether it's your authors, entrepreneurs, or trying to make a difference in someone else's life. It's good for you to understand. But because it's good for me to understand how this relate to my work, my videos and stuff, and how it connect everything, and it truly is an inspiring movie. That she is a freaking true rebel, like she is karate, right? She is a rebel. She changed the student life. She changed their life forever. And she toward the beginning, the student didn't want to learn. They were inspired. They were against each other. They hate each other. They even didn't like the student because she was white, or they weren't really siding with each other. And toward the end, they want her to be her teacher. They want her, the teacher, to be their teacher, and they are really inspired to learn and stuff like that. But here's the thing: in the beginning, most teachers, most people, adults think that in this context, in the beginning, students didn't want to learn anything. They're just there just to exist, and they don't want to learn. They're not inspired to do any work or listen to the teacher lecture, right? And we see, as if they're stupid or they're not smart enough. They're uneducated. They're not willing to learn. But that's so untrue, because you don't know what's going in the back of their head or their story or what they're dealing with. So they, the students, they toward kind of middle or something, or in the beginning, they show what happened to the student and what they went through. So in class, the student didn't get really along with each other, whether they're Spanish, blacks, Asians, or whatever, and they didn't get really along. And one student draw something and made fun of the student, and the teacher got pissed. Now, to me, it was a message that most people would see a race, right? Whether they're Spanish, black, or Asian, or whatever, homeless people, they only look at the surface, but not the beauty inside, right? And so you only see what you want to see, and it has no meaning, right? Until it's like a picture. You only see pictures, right? And this is how I see it. Pictures. It means something to someone in their head, but in the beginning, it seemed like it's how I say it. You see different once you understand deeper about people, and the picture look very different from before, from the beginning and after. And so these students were fighting against each other, and they're fighting with the teacher too. And the teacher really cared for the student, and she wanted to teach, but she couldn't teach them, and they didn't really want to learn. But some, I guess, teacher didn't like it, and other people said you shouldn't. Other teacher were against the idea that these students can't really learn, or they can't really do anything, and they're there, and they're not worth teaching, basically. But the teacher, she didn't give up, and she wanted to change their life, and she finally found something that what she did was brilliant, right? What she did was trying to get them to see that they're not all so different. She's basically in her head said, I don't care if you're black, white, Spanish, or Asian. There's something in common with each other. So she did that. She made them go in front of class, and she put tape on it, and she tried to ask some question, and they go back, if they have something, if I forgot what question she asked, but all the students who go forward to the tape, they have something in common. So that's my message for the world, for whoever watching this, is that no matter who you are, whether you're martial artists, entrepreneurs, authors, or whatever you're trying to do, we all have something in common, right? I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care if you have cliques, I don't care if you're Yakuza, samurai, martial arts, kung fu, Russian style system, martial arts, chef, whatever. All of you guys have something in common with each other. It's just that too many people see so differently, because they haven't spent time enough to understand each person. Because of my background of dealing with different people in trade school, because I have to deal with them, and because I talk to different people in trade school, I learn to get along with them. And sometimes people like, what? Yes. So there are different, you have to understand that there is different sides of me, right? But in order to change someone's life, you have to care enough to do it. So there's different ways to do it. Some people you can't push forward by telling them off, but some will if you tell them off, right? You have to understand the different things, right? And that's why I do what I do. Anyway, the other teacher, the teacher wanted, so let's say the rebel teacher, right? She wanted to pick out a book that could help. See, here's the thing with the school system. They pick out a book that couldn't relate to you. But because of the rebel teacher, she understood that she want them, the books, the story to relate to them, to understand that where they're coming from. And that's how, and she bought that new book and let the student read, and it start to change their mind, change their heart, change everything about it. And I think she also put she bought like journals for the students and let them write whatever they want, and whatever their stories and whatever their struggles and whatever. And so the rebel teachers start reading them, and that each of them are going through pain and suffering that nobody understands. That's why most people don't understand that the student who are D's or C's, they're going through something that you might not know, right? Whether they're stressed out, they're in trouble, or their family are struggling, or they're in their friend just died, or something happened. That's what happened. Like in the beginning, I think that someone in the movie in the beginning, someone got shot in the store or something. I can't remember, but they got shot, right? And the girl saw that. Anyway, that's the beginning. So what ended up happening is, just because one teacher changed someone's life, because she understands how to relate to people, right? And she inspired the student to be able to want to learn. That's what I wish that the school system had, right? To not just to lecture and you don't know me. Like, you don't care enough about me. Yeah, you tell me all these things, but you never got in touch what I really wanted to do, or what my dreams are, or what really moved me. You don't get in touch what happened. And so most oftentimes people think people don't want to learn, just like the special education students, or quote unquote people. My thoughts is that to truly change a person, it's not only to tell them off or to tell them or whatever, but also to care for them, like really care, and to relate to them like, hey, I know where you come from, that I understand, right? That even though we might be different, but we have something in common. That's why I always wanted to make a video on common ground. Even though people disagree because they have different world view, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, though, that we all each have something in common. Whether it's a subject, whether we went through something similar, whether we did something when we were young and we make lots of mistakes, we thought it was a mistake and we beat ourselves up to it, or the thing that really we hold we couldn't move forward because of that. And so each and every one of those, I don't care if you're white, black, Spanish, all that, we all have something in common. But the thing is, most of the time, oh yeah, I remember also her husband didn't want, he wanted out. He didn't, because the rebel teacher, she was moved by her purpose. She's changing their life and she's happy, and now that's like her cause. And the husband was about to move out, and he felt like he was not being attended to or pay attention, and she loved him. But he's like, I'm old and I don't, he's like, I'm old and I don't have potential anymore. That's what most adults thinking now. Whether you're 56 or you think that you don't have potential. What the hell does that mean? People think potential mean that a physical potential, mental potential, or limited potential. Potential can be anything you want it to be. It's up to you. It's not defined by the school system. It's not defined by your parents. It's not defined by your siblings or society or your teachers. It's defined by you, how you want things to go through. It's up to you to do the thing. Now, most people say you shouldn't talk about these things if you have not done them. But if you try, all I ask is you try to do the things that you must do for yourself. Or otherwise, you will sit at the age, you're in the rocking chair, and everything that you spill out, that's going to be you. And the two version of you will spill out something. One, fuck man, I hate my fucking life. Let me fucking die already. Two, damn, I was great, man. Like, I'm a fucking genius, man. I changed people's life. I changed shit. I done something awesome. Like, I done something, right? I freaking did. I live my own life on my own term, not what people think I should do or what I think, or whatever society want me to do, or not my friends or something. I did something that I was proud of doing, regardless if my friend think that this is not the best idea, or regardless if my teacher